Hi, this is Jody from Poppy Winkle, and I am super excited to share with you how I made this gorgeous faux leather. I used it here for a journal, but I have a lot of other things I used it for, and I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to show you how to make it. It feels like leather, and I think it really looks like leather. So far I've used it to make this journal, which is totally not complete, but I love it. It's kind of business on the outside and a party on the inside. I used the faux leather on the inside too to make tabs. The little dangle here, that's the faux leather used as a tab. I used it to make a tuck spot. I'm not sure if you can see that. And I tried stamping on it, which totally worked. It took the ink, and then I used alcohol marker to color it in, and it took that too. So you can stamp on it, you can alcohol marker on it, and that's my little tuck spot. Over here I used it to reinforce this pocket because this was just a couple layers of paper and it wasn't very strong. So I reinforced it here and made it a lot stronger with this leather, faux leather that I folded over, and I put these little decorative grommets in there. Or brads, or they're called brads. I'll put a link to them, but I think they look great with that. So there's a pocket. What else I have? Okay, here I have a side pocket, and I let people know that that's a place you can put stuff by using the faux leather there to accent that. If I hadn't put that there, they might not realize you can put things in there. Here I did a belly band flip with the leather again, and I used the tab down here to reinforce it. If you can see, yeah. So that's a tab folded over, and then I used the tab up here also as a hinge. And what that's good for is you can take your things out and still write under there, and it's sort of like a hidden spot because you can move your belly band. I also used it to make this bookmark. I really can't believe how it looks and feels like leather. And that just clips over the page there. So I'm going to show you how to make the actual leatherish fabric here, the leatherish paper. And in my next video or two, I will show you how I made these different elements. I have to dedicate this video to my dad because it was his old shoe polish kit that gave me the idea for this. We got a little brush there, and I used different kinds of craft paper, trash bags, heavy paper bags, not trash bags, heavy paper bags. This is corrugated cardboard that I separated. I had a video about how I did that. That's nice and stiff. The rest of these are a little floppy. But depending on what kind of paper you use, that's depending on the color. So I had cordovan color and I had brown color. And these are so old. But they were, you know what? They were a little crusty looking, but they still worked. Like they looked all cracked and broken. But anyway, so these two are the cordovan. And then these are all the brown, just on different kinds of paper. So there's a lot of experimentation there. The thicker the better. Definitely the thicker the better. Like this is pretty flimsy, but this stuff is nice and thick. That's the corrugated cardboard stuff. So whatever you have, that's what you'll use. I would protect your surface because it's not terribly messy, but it gets little crumbs. It gets little crumbs. And I also use gloves just because I don't want to be messing with the goo on my hands. And it's a little stinky. You get out your paper, and I would get a way bigger piece than you want to use. Like whatever you have in mind, get a way bigger piece out because you're going to use the scraps too. And it's hard to do this on one little piece of paper. Like you need something to hold on to. But anyway, the more inconsistencies, the more stuff that's going on, the more realistic it's gonna look. See all those dots and light and dark? That's great. That's great. So I have a nice big piece here. I'm gonna get a little piece of fabric to rub it on. And you just rub it in. And this is why you want a big piece, because if you were trying to hold on to it, it would be all crumpling up under you, which is not a crisis. So I'm just going to do a little because you get the idea. But you can go over it and make it darker, and you can blotch it. You can blotch it a little bit. You know, to try to make those marks that kind of make it look like leather. And then you let it dry. Now I'm not going to let it dry because I'm making a video. But what you do next is you take your brush. If you have one, you could take a cloth that doesn't have the color on it. That would totally work. And just kind of buff it up. And that gives it a nice shine, and it works the color into the paper. And I'd probably do it a little more than this, but it's probably noisy. So I'm going to save you. And then the next part is some lotion. Now I used Lubriderm because that's what I had. And you just rub that in. And what it does, it makes it soft and it makes it shiny. And I rub it in, you know, I'm using my fingers to really push. And it's bringing some of the color up, but that's okay. And I also let this sit a while. I don't know if I had to or not, but I did. And now I'm going to take my gloves off because that's the bad part, or the messy part anyway. And so that's it. That's it. That's the big secret. So now you have this. It even sounds different, you can tell. You have this gorgeous leather looking thing. Now see, I wrinkled a little when I was in a hurry there, but probably if I went over that with some more polish, I'd get one of those lines, which I like. So definitely play around with it. So that's how I made it. And if you want to make some this week, ask me if you have any questions. Make some. Get a little store together, a little stock. And next week I'll show you what we can do with it, because it is super fun. Thanks for watching. Bye.